We're 5 mythical glory players with over 40,000 matches of experience, and today we will teach you how to execute the perfect rotation as a mid laner. Rotation is the most important macro skill you need to master, because you can have the best skills with your hero, but they won't help you if you're not at the right place at the right moment. Let's start with the most important part of the game. The early game. Why most important, you ask? If you win the early game, the chances are much higher that you actually win the match. Unless you have a team composition that has a bunch of late game heroes. An example would be a team with Cecilian, Aldok and Hanabi. As a mage, you have to consider many things during the first minutes of the game. Firstly, how long are my skill cooldowns and when can I cast them again? Secondly, who is stronger on my lane and who can clear the minion wave faster? Thirdly, which low tier items I should buy first and why? How will I be affected? How can I keep up with the gold gap when I miss a minion wave? And lastly, what is the rotation of the enemy team? Or 1-3-1? These are the questions you have to answer yourself in every match, because if you know the answers, you can play more safe on your lane, support your jungler, and at the same time you can plan when to visit your side lanes if they need your help. Let me show you how to answer these questions by showing you a real match with our undead waifu, Vexana. When it comes to low tier items, you should always get Elegant Gem if you use Clock of Destiny. It greatly helps you to stay on the battlefield as it regens your mana and HP after every level up. The first thing you should always do is cast your skill on the jungler's first buff and help your fella until you reach the 28-second mark. This is to make sure that your next skill cast is ready when your first minion wave arrives, so you won't be delayed against your counterpart. Also make sure to not clear the small blue buff thingy, as you would delay your jungler's farm. Go away before that little fella dies. After clearing your first wave, watch out for your jungler's rotation. Here Karina went for the lethal, so assist your ally if you can, so that your jungler can easily rotate to the next buff. The roamer should usually also join, but oh well, it's a new season, so here you can see that the enemy's roamer helped the mage to clear the wave, so in this situation it's better to stay safe under your turret and wait for the minions to come inside. If the enemy mage has a long range or more utility skills than you have, you can bait them by staying near to the turret's edge. If the enemy is as stupid as this 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐵, you can easily get your first blood, which is a huge deal. Remember, a recall or death always delays your counterpart massively as you gain extra gold and XP. And the enemy is most likely missing one wave, which really puts them behind. For many mages, it's the best to farm until you reach level 4. Or if your roamer helps you to quickly clear a wave, to make a quick visit on the gold lane. And see if you can help to poke or even kill the enemy's gold laner. In this match, our roamer babysits the MM while the enemy's roamer roams around. So we're stuck on the mid lane until we're on level 4. After the turtle spawns, you should usually rotate to the lane where the turtle has spawned. But here you can see that everyone, including Harley, who's their jungler, is top. So Karina is fine on her own. Instead, you should secure the rotation route and try to delay the enemy's jungler by bursting him down. Although we didn't kill him, Harley is now forced to return to his own jungle, which allows us to secure the first turtle without even a real fight. This just shows that not only being at the right place is important, but also how you're moving to the right place. While rotating to the side lane, to the turtle or back to your lane, there are many mistakes you can make. For example, do you think it's a good idea to run through here? No, of course not, because there could be always an enemy, especially your counterpart, hiding in here, who's just waiting to burst you down. So let's say we are rotating to the bot lane and have no vision whatsoever. As I just said, this bush is dangerous. But also this one, as we just saw when I attacked Harley. Also remember that even when you're not being ambushed, an enemy could sit in there and reveal your rotation. Now most of us go below the spawn area, because above it's very likely that we meet an enemy. This bush is relatively safe, but these two bushes are super dangerous, as the enemy roamer and jungler could plan an ambush here. Without vision, it's very dangerous to enter them. So what route will be better? You go here and pass through the red buff area, as the chance you get ambushed here is super small. So you avoid 2 ambush bushes and arrive at the lane with 2 options now. Are you going for the dangerous bush as nobody saw you yet? Or are you going through your own turret and ambush the enemy from there. That's depending on how many risks you like to take. Now after 3 minutes you should have observed which side lane needs your help the most. Because after clearing your wave, you should rotate to your weaker side lane. When we say weaker, we mean someone who firstly has less gold than their counterpart, or secondly is more item dependent and cannot defend themselves immediately during the early game. Little quiz. Would you engage into the fight or not? The answer is... nope. We can't see 𝐼𝐬𝐬𝐜𝐴 nor 𝐷𝐸𝐴 on the map, and our Popol is busy beating up a jungle creep. I love the season reset. After a few seconds we can see 𝐷𝐸𝐴 popping up, so we're outnumbered. I sadly couldn't kill the 𝐂, but for that our Selena ran straight into the fire of Beatrix. Yay. Popol decided to ignore the low Bea, which I don't understand. So the whole situation was a big L for our team. We maybe could have attacked Beatrix here, but those are split-second decisions you have to get right. Now if you want to learn which split-second decisions you made right or wrong, you could join my YouTube membership program and get your gameplay analyzed. Let's make a little jump to the next turtle fight. Currently our Selena died already 5 times while our Popol ate 3 times mud. So our team is really behind. Still, we can contest the turtle and I show you how to do it right. As a mage, you're most likely not dealing enough damage to the turtle. So instead, make sure to zone out the enemies that try to gank your jungler. Remember that it's the responsibility of your jungler to secure neutral objectives. So it's your responsibility to assist them and provide vision. The less enemies are around, the easier it is for your jungler to secure the turtle. Although we killed 𝐂, Karina went back into the jungle and Popol died once more. If you have a back and forth like we do here, always remember to observe, reset and re-strategize. Just go and clear your wave before you do another attempt of getting the turtle. Here our Karina camps very nicely, so we should join her. But instead of rushing in and reveal yourself, just wait until the turtle is low, because then you have a much better chance to steal it. Here Karina engaged perfectly and managed to secure the turtle, and because we cleared the wave mid, we could destroy the mid turret, which is a huge win for us. You don't always have to contest every objective when you are on the weaker side though. You can give it up if there's no realistic chance of getting it and focus on the mid turret instead. Now the early game phase is over, so remember what you should do. Help your jungler, clear your waves, rotate to the turtle lane and help securing it, rotate to the weaker lane, and make sure to get your first core items. By this time you should already have your chosen boots and 2 core items of your choice. At the 8-minute mark, we're entering the mid game. Now in the mid game you still have the chance to make things right. But no matter how good you are as a mage, your side laner can still be overpowered by a better player. It even doesn't matter how many times you, the tank and your jungler rotate to the lane, they can still lose. Remember, losing your lane only means 2 things. Firstly, your ally is not that good with a hero yet, and secondly, the enemy on the lane is really good. Or to say it in the right ML terms, your gold laner is trash while the enemy's is pro. So, how can we prevent that the enemy laner is starting to snowball so hard that they start to dance around with 33 kills and no deaths in front of your base? For example, is any of your turrets being attacked? Here we could just see 𝐷𝐸𝐴 and Beatrix on the map. So with our 2 core items we can easily burst them down. We know they must be there, so just aim your skills at the bush like we do here, and once they are revealed, burst them down. Now that we have done that, don't just retreat and go back to your lane. No, since the enemy MM is dead, you can pressure the lane now with your 2 headless chickens. And because our Selena was actually useful for once. Wow, we actually get another support. Nice. And we could push the outer turret away, which sets us even on that lane again. Now imagine you just stay mid and ignore this lane because you think your MM is trash. Then we would have lost our inner turret to the enemies and our top lane would be in complete waste. Another thing you can do in the mid game is bullying the enemy's jungler. When you're destroying turrets, it's not only to reach the enemy's base one day. No, you essentially try try to destroy the turret so you have easier access to the enemy's jungle. This is something called map control and something you should always remember. If you lose a turret, it means you lose your map control. Now, since we destroyed all outer turrets, we have access to the enemy's jungle, so we can just invade that poor fella. When you invade an enemy's jungler, there are three possibilities that can work on your side. Firstly, you force them to use retribution, which means they're unable to steal the first lord. Secondly, you delay their gold lane by making them escape back to the base and farm on the other side of the jungle. Or thirdly, the best one, you can take them down and remove one big damage dealer in the enemy's team, which leaves them one member weaker. Plus, you can easily get the lord as the enemy has no retribution anymore. Here we traded 1 for 4, which is an extremely good trade. Sadly, the one we lost was our jungler, so we can't really take the lord now. Okay, quiz time. What should we do instead now? Is it A, get more kills to delay the enemies? Is it B, to farm and get more items? Or C, to push the turrets? Okay, I'll let you guys think for a second. Psych, time's up. The answer is C, to push turrets. If we go back to the very basic rules of the game, do you need to get killed or do you need to destroy the enemy's base? Remember that with every turret removed from either your or your enemy's team, this team becomes weaker, more exposed, and has a higher chance of losing the game. Yes, most mages are very bad when it comes to pushing, but you can shove minion waves into them like we did before. Or secure the area, which I'm doing here because our Popol at least knows how to push. The bottom line is that you as a mage should rotate together with your allies now and not play the lonely wolf. Help the allies who can push as much as you can by zoning the enemies or straight up just kill them, so your pushers can do their job and push safely. Now, although we lost the early game and are behind in kills, we actually lead the game as we destroyed 5 turrets while the enemy only destroyed 2. So we can run around the map much more freely, which is a huge advantage for the late game stage that starts now. The late game is where things get harder and where late game heroes shine, but also where many decisions and questions will be answered. Can one team get a wipeout and finish the game immediately? Will your team get the enhanced lord and break down their inhabited turrets? Will you choke in this part of the game and throw away all of your efforts? And will you make just one bad decision and end up losing because of that one mistake? Be honest, we all did that already and we hated ourselves for it. As a mage, with assuming that you have 3 or 4 core items already, there are 2 things you should consider during the late game. Firstly, can your items still counter the enemy's defenses? As we all know, many heroes benefit from regen items like Concentrated Energy, Heart's Claws, Endless Battle, Demon Hunter Sword, or Oracle. If you see these items as a mage, should you get a Necklace of the Runs before it's too late? We need anti-regen against enemies who can heal themselves or they will just stomp us into the ground. But check if your allies already built 2 anti-heal items first, because then you don't need it anymore. Also, did your enemies already build multiple magic defensive items? If yes, get Divine Glaive as soon as possible because it will greatly increase your damage. Yes, this has nothing to do with rotation, but this is the most important aspect of the late game. Having the right items as they can determine the outcome of the game. Check our updated magic item guide that comes out soon for more details. But now, what do you actually do in this stage of the game? Now that we're so far in the late game, everything becomes very simple yet super complicated at the same time. Let me explain. The only thing you basically need to do is securing the evolved lord so you and your allies can yeet the enemy's base out of the battlefield. The hard part is that your enemies try to do the same, and since the respawn timers are so long, you can say goodbye to your lord. And I cannot sing. What the fuck is that? What the hell? Stop that. So what are you going to do now? Firstly, push any open towers in the enemy team. Less towers means less defenses. This mostly means shoving your minions into the turrets, as you as a mage are pretty slow when it comes to pushing. Secondly, clear any minion wave that comes close to your turrets. Usually it's better when a fast wave clearer like a marksman is doing this job, but in solo queue you often have to take over all jobs, even if you're not really fitting for it. You don't want that there are minions close to your turret, as this leaves the the chance open for a backdoor attempt while you fight for the Lord. Lane management is super important at this stage of the game, so always make sure that your turrets are safe so you can focus on the Lord. Thirdly, try to make good ambushes. The bushes we talked about earlier are still deadly, so you should use them to your advantage. Especially the bushes around the buffs, around the Lord area and the mid lane are good spots for ambushes in the late game, so use them to your advantage. Don't chase the kill like I do here though, as the chance that this will backfire is 96.69%. Now lastly and most importantly, stay with your team and support them in the Lord fight. As a mage with a full build, you deal a devastating amount of damage to the enemy squishies. So it's your job to take down the marksman and other squishies so your allies can take the Lord. Or you just secure the area by camping in a bush and secure the Lord for yourself. Then you just have to keep supporting your team with your burst and CC effect so the Lord can do its job. Oh, he just died. Then your super minions can do the job, especially if your enemies are so dumb that they chase you for the kill. GG Nori!
Now a huge shout out to our MLG family members, especially our glory members Van and OG VOV Fiend. Remember to join if you want your gameplay analyzed or request your own guide. And check out this video where I show you how to dominate your enemies in solo queue. Yes, I got 33 kills without a single death. See you over there!